Being John Malkovich. Okay, you guys asked for more Hollywood stories. I got a banger for you. Before photography, I was like a concierge IT guy and built websites mostly for major motion pictures and fashion brands and stuff. So I'm at one of my clients' offices, a production company, and we were at the end of the meeting, and I said, "Do you have anything for me to read?" He said, "You want a book? You want a screenplay? You want a TV show?" I said, "I don't care. Just give me something funny and interesting." So he says, "I got one for you. It has no chance of being made. It was passed on by everybody years ago, but I think you'll like it." I said, "What's it called?" He said, "It's called Being John Malkovich." And I said, "Well, I love John Malkovich." Gives me the script. I go home. I read it in an hour, and I'm laying around, and I get a call from this female agent I know, a very powerful one. And she says, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Nothing." She goes, "Johnny Depp just stopped by the office and dropped off a box of Boulevard Bellicosos Finos. Do you know what those are?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not a Philistine. I know what they are." And she said, "Oh, really? What are they?" I said, 52 ring gauge Cuban torpedo, maybe 7 inches long, 6. And she says, "Oh, you do know what they are." And I'm like, so I drive up to her house, and we're smoking the Cubans, and we're drinking single malt. And then it occurs to me, and I said, "You're John Malkovich's agent, aren't you?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Did you ever read this script called Being John Malkovich?" She goes, "Ugh, stupid idea. I passed on it years ago." And I said, "Did you read it?" And she goes, "No. Who reads screenplays?" And I said, "Well, I read it today." She goes, "You fix computers. What are you doing reading dead screenplays for?" And I said, "I needed something to read, and I didn't feel like going to the bookstore." And she says, "Was it good?" I said, "No, it was great." And she said, "Should I send it to John?" I said, "If you don't send it to John, you're like the world's worst agent." And she says, "If he fires me, I will send men to your home in the middle of the night to kill you." And I said, "Yeah, blah, blah, blah." She calls one of her assistants, wakes her up, and says, "I need you to go to the office, get the latest draft of Being John Malkovich, and bring it to LAX, and send it in the pouch to John." So I say, "Where does John live?" She says, "He lives a quiet life in Marseille." And I said, "So he didn't know about this screenplay, that it even existed?" She goes, "No, he would never know about this." So I said, "Yeah, you have to send it to him." So she goes, "Okay." So 2 mornings later, I get a call from the agent, an echoey speakerphone call. And she goes, "Nathan, you're not going to believe this." And I said, "Why? What's going on?" She's like, "It is so hard to get Malkovich to commit to anything. He read this thing. He's committed. He said, don't even ask for a lot of money for it. It sounds like a small film. I'll do it for scale if I have to, but let's get this movie made. So can you believe it? John's going to do the movie." And I said, "Oh, that's great." At no point did she say thank you. And I said, "Can I get like a associate producer or some stroke credit on it?" And she just hangs up the phone on me. And now, knowing that I'm totally screwed and can do nothing about it, I just decided to just mess with her. So I call her back, and she goes, "What?" And I said, "How about a muffin basket?" And she hung up on me again. So around the time of the film's release, I read an interview from that bearded gas bag Francis Ford Coppola taking credit for getting the movie made, which is obviously not true. Being John Malkovich went on to win in the year 2000 Academy Award and Golden Globe nominations for Best Screenplay, as well as win a BAFTA Award and numerous others. So Charlie Kaufman, if you're out there, you're welcome.